Guys, next up we have a speaker who's actually my doctor. He's given me improvement when I haven't seen, there we go, when I haven't seen any with any other doctors. So I'm happy, my heart's blessed that Dr. Stewart's coming up here to speak. He is my physician, and he's the first doctor that I've seen that I've actually made progress with. So.
Hello, my name is Dave Stewart, and I am a dumb doctor. Keep calling us dumb. Eventually, we'll get the message. First, I want to express my deepest gratitude to Josh Cutler, the MayDay 2013 committee chair, for inviting me to be a small part of this event. I've gotten to know Josh a little bit this past year, and I can say that without a doubt, Josh is one of the bravest fighters I have ever met. I also want to thank the rest of the MayDay committee, the other esteemed speakers, and everyone who's here today with a voice or a sign, and everyone who donated time, money, energy to make this rally such a success. It's truly an honor to stand before you, the people who matter most to this cause. This fight, the uprising against this sacred cow that I'm a part of, called the medical establishment. You, the patients, the afflicted, the fighters, are the most important part of this cause. For many of you, you came to this gathering hungering to find an answer to the question, is there hope? Is there hope for you and your team of supporters? I know it doesn't feel that way at times. Maybe you are questioning the possibility that you'll ever regain the old you. I know that feeling. Sometimes the pain shooting through your body or aching in your joints makes you reach for another pain pill that you swallow along with your pride and your hope. I've been there. Do you ponder the burden that you are to the people who support you and contemplate whether they'd be better off without you? I did that too. Does the thought of another pick line, flush, or dressing change make you want to scream? I've been there. And does the possibility of another day and night of hurting bring tears to your eyes? I can't tell you how many times I felt that way. Yes, I am a Lyme survivor and an integrated family physician. Woo! That's where we're going. And I am here to offer you hope. There can be healing from your suffering. There can be victory in your fight. Because I believe that something crucial can be added to your treatment protocols. I am here today to proclaim the importance of treating the whole person, the whole you, not just the infected you. My goal is to convince you that you are not the hapless prey of bugs that can beat you down and take over your body no matter what you do. I find hope in the prospect that you firing on all cylinders, that your body at the top of its game can master the microbes instead of being mastered by them. So what does that mean? Why don't we just pour more research money and research time into killing the bugs? Why don't we just keep throwing different combinations of antibiotics at these pathogens, hoping that we will crack the code? Well, those battles are critically important, and they must be fought relentlessly. But I propose to you that along with so many other aspects of this disease, there's a major lack of understanding about a key factor that all of us infected with these organisms share. That is, we are good hosts. We are good neighborhoods for these bugs to live in. We are essentially safe havens for them. And until that changes, we will not cure these infections.
How do we become the ghetto?
Now, much has been made about the microbes and the weapons that they bring to sicken us. And most of these are well known to all of you and to the Lyme literate doctors. Some examples are immune system evasion. I mean, there seems to be hundreds of ways these bugs hide from our immune system. Persistence factors. You may have heard about Dr. Embers and her research in primates showing that Lyme actually does survive the IDSA antibiotic protocol. Life cycle variances. I mean, these bugs go between active and latent forms, intracellular, extracellular, L forms, cystic forms, spirochetal forms. They make biofilms and form colonies inside of them. They exchange DNA through plasmids with each other and with us. And they have an amazing synergy with co-infections. Again, I want to reiterate that it is crucial to address those factors. We need more Dr. Embers and Dr. Sappys, researchers who are breaking new ground. We need more Dr. Shores and Dr. Horowitzes and Dr. Jemsek, and Dr. Courses and Dr. Joneses and Dr. Singletons, clinicians who relentlessly fight the infections on a daily basis and teach us either through peer-reviewed journals or at seminars. We need more Monty Skalls and Pat Smiths fighting for us at the public policy level and the patient level. We must understand these pathogen issues if we are to overcome these infections. Hold on. But what about the stuff that each of us brings to the table? What about the host factors? Why do some get more ill than others? Why does one person get incredibly ill but recover completely, and another person has a less debilitating illness but can't get off antibiotics? What are the host factors? Well, in my practice, I find that those involve neurologic problems, immunologic problems, hormonal issues, and we come to the table. We bring those with us when the Lyme infects us. Chronic inflammation that was there before we got infected with Lyme. Adrenal fatigue that was present before we got infected. Gut dysbiosis, gut issues, hormone imbalances, nutritional deficiencies that were present before we got infected. Toxin overload. Many of us have genetic detoxification problems, and we get exposed to toxic minerals through our lives. And finally, the psychological maladies and traumas that keep us in a constant state of fight or flight in our brains and in our bodies. Now, some of these conditions are blamed on the effects of Lyme disease, and that is absolutely true. However, I submit that in just as many cases, the condition was pre-existing, and it is a reason you are fighting for your life. So what? Why should I bring this up now at a Lyme disease rally? Well, I think that it gives us all hope. To let you know that you are not simply at the mercy of the bugs. I want you to know that when you combine treating the pathogen factors with treating the host factors, good things can happen. Providers fear the retaliation from a healthcare governance that exists to serve and protect those who need it the least. Those are the doctors, the pharmaceutical companies, the insurance companies. And they protect them at the expense of the people who need it the most, and that is you. Therefore, on behalf of everyone here today and those who could not be here, I call on this Congress and this presidential administration to hold the CDC to its duty to protect us from these infections. There must be Lyme research without political bias. They must enforce balanced input into guideline creation. Secondly, it is preposterous that a reliable insurance-covered diagnostic test does not exist for Lyme and the growing number of co-infections. One would think that with all the emphasis the CDC puts on surveillance, that they would want an accurate test for surveillance. Not to mention for the proper diagnosis and treatment of the people they are supposed to serve. Also, it is unacceptable that meaningful treatment trials have not occurred. We've got the #1 vector-borne illness in America, and there's almost no data on how to treat it. And finally, vaccine development must be fast-tracked.
Thanks, man.
Next, I call on our state and local public health officials to protect the constituents of their jurisdictions. We deserve to know the risks. Invest in public education and awareness, and test the ticks in our areas. And do not exclude any tick species from the analysis of pathogen carriage. Now, those demands are for the policymakers, and now, even more importantly, I have a message for my colleagues. I call for practitioners of all specialties to commit to helping their patients, rather than defending their colleagues or the guidelines of their professional society. First and foremost, remember that great practitioners never stop trying to find the reason for the suffering of their patients, no matter where the investigation leads them. And these practitioners should always be open to the fact that there is so much more that science does not know about these microbes than it does know. It is possible that Borrelia, Bartonella, Anaplasma, Babesia, Ehrlichiosis, and Rickettsia organisms can cause chronic illness. Also, I call on them to step away from the inflexible devotion to evidence-based medicine and the randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trials. Do not withhold care that is safe for your patients because you're waiting for a trial to tell you that it is safe and effective for a population. To the amazing primary care providers, these are the underappreciated workhorses of the healthcare system. I say to you to fight for the needs of your patients rather than settling for the specialist consultation that results in the status quo, I don't know what's going on, diagnosis. And remember that you are not at the mercy of the specialist. If their opinion isn't helpful or doesn't make sense, keep searching. And no matter what, primary care providers, fight alongside your patients. Fight for them as hard as they fight for themselves. And in conclusion, I turn to you. You are the patients, the parents, the spouses, the friends, the relatives, and I say again that you are the most important people to this cause. You must never accept the voices that tell you that you are never going to get better. Sometimes those voices come just as loudly from inside as they do from outside, and they lie. You must never accept the expert opinion that there is nothing wrong with you. Whether that expert is your doctor, your spouse, your mother, your friend, you are the expert on you. And while you may not know exactly the cause, you know when something is not right. And you must never accept the notion that you are a victim. We are not victims, we are victors. We are victors because we are here today. We are victors because our cause is right and just. And we are victors because we fight together. And that, my friends, will never change.